Welcome. Okay, I'm Luisa.
And I'm Daniel, and welcome back to Should We Leave? The podcast about everything.
And nothing.
I think that's most podcasts.
Yeah. People will be like, what's your podcast about? I'm like, it's none of my business.
It's literally
like
not.
What my podcast is about is none of my business.
I have no idea what
Don't
it's
ask
about.
me that. Yeah.
Please. Yeah. This week on the pod that's none of our business, we discovered that Luisa was most likely a witch in a past life, and I reveal publicly that I am a sore loser. We talk about the insane scenarios they put the Islanders through on Love Island All-Stars, and we have mixed opinions on the banishment of a certain contestant on The Traitors. And finally, please forgive us for getting emotional about being on a yacht. All that and much more Pink Couch chit-chat on episode 9 of Should We Leave? Someone did ask me that recently, and I was like...
You're like, should I have an answer?
I was like, I should have an answer for this. I didn't know what to say. Oh, this is what happened. I got my new computer, and they were like, oh, like, we see that you got a custom computer. Do you want to join, like, the business Apple group or whatever? And they were like, what's your company name? And I was like, it Should We Leave?
Incorporated.
Basically. And they're like, what does that mean? And I was like, it just means I want to be home.
It means I want to leave the Apple store.
But it looked legit because I have my email, Daniel@shouldweleave.com. And it was just funny.
So funny.
Yeah.
He's like, what is that? You're like, none of my business and none of your business.
No. Nobody's business.
Nobody's business. So
What's up? How are you? What did you do last night?
Okay. I'll get into last night in a second, but last night. So you know how I love animals and I fostered a bunch and whatever. I got home and the place I foster from was posting being like, can someone take these puppies? Like they're going to get left in Georgia if no one can take them. And like something came over me and I was like, I will take them. So I'm literally getting 2 puppies tomorrow morning.
That's exciting.
And they're tiny. They're so young that they can't even go outside. Like they're just going to play and nap in a pen.
And like what kind of dogs are they?
I can't tell. They're like little. They're so cute.
So can you explain to me how that works when someone says they're like fostering it? Is it just because the shelter doesn't have enough room and they need like another roof?
Yeah, I didn't get it either until I started doing it. The shelters are always full. So there's no shelter that's ever like, bring them in. Let's get new dogs in here. They're always overwhelming, especially in the South. They're just overwhelmed with dogs. So let's say there's 100 dogs in the shelter and they're at capacity. If you can get 50 dogs to come up to New York City and have 50 people willing to take these dogs out of the shelter, you're saving those 50 dogs' lives, and you're also opening up 50 spots in the shelter for dogs to take that place and not get like euthanized.
Okay.
Because dogs, if they stay in the shelter for too long and nobody takes them, a lot of shelters are kill shelters and they just euthanize them. So dogs are like literally getting killed every day, all day. And then people keep buying these like cute little...
Because there's no
breeder dogs.
Space.
And it's like, what you don't understand is you can still get a cute puppy. Like, just wait until the right one comes along from a rescue. Like, they need us, you know?
Mm-hmm. Don't cry.
I'm not crying, but I only cry about your coming out story. That's the only thing that gets me emotional. Like, I really highly recommend it if you are even considering it. Like, I'll let you know how it goes with puppies. I've never done puppies. I think it actually might be easier than a full-grown dog.
What if I want those dogs?
Then you can adopt them from me.
Does it cost money to adopt a dog?
Yes, but it goes like towards the rescue. So it's like a donation. It's like $500. Maisie,
for each dog?
Yeah, I paid for Maisie with credit card points. Like I cashed in my credit card points and got a dog.
I mean, I think that's an amazing way to use your credit card points.
I know. Well, it was like I was sad when I got Maisie because then I was like, I can't foster anymore. I'm like done saving dogs, I guess. And I just really want to do it again.
How do you think Maisie's going to react? We will see.
I had a long talk with her this morning. I was like, you're going to be a big sister for a few weeks. And I really need you to be a nice girl because she's kind of a mean girl. And
are you gonna bring them over here when we pod?
I would love to. They're seriously.
Should we just put them right here?
Gonna be
tiny,
Daniel. Like
I saw them on your story.
How cute they have little brown eyebrows. like the spots that are eyebrows.
Cuties.
I'm gonna throw up. I'm so excited, but I am really, really nervous. But it's okay, and it's just like the best thing. If anyone listening is ever thinking about fostering and has questions, reach out to me because I can't recommend it enough. And I know like which rescues are good to go through and which are not as good.
Okay.
Yeah. But so that's tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm going to have 3 dogs. We're a family of 4.
You are. You're a full family.
Me and my 3
You need
girls.
to get a bigger apartment.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. The reason I can do it, though, is because I don't have a couch right now. Because do you remember I bought a couch, had to return it. Now I'm waiting for the new one to come. We're in the in-between. So I have no furniture. So me and 3 dogs just in a warehouse. What's the latest with you?
This past week, I did this digital marketing accelerator course that was offered to the company that I work for. And it was like I was back in school, basically. Going to class, with a few of my coworkers that I knew and a bunch of other people from the company.
Did you like school growing up? Like, were you good at school?
I think I was.
Because some people it's not for them.
I liked it. Realized that so the last day there was this big winter storm. And so they gave people the option to do it virtually.
Of this class?
Okay. And so I missed that memo. And so I was already on the way. And I was kind of bummed because I was like, oh, I mean, it's so shitty outside. Like it would have been so nice just to be home. But it surprised me. It was very anti should we leave mentality in the sense of I'm going to go. I want to go. I know we might have to change the name of the podcast.
We're changing the podcast to I'll go.
I'll go.
I'll f***ing go.
Maybe we should
You
go.
dare me to go?
I'm showing up.
I'm there, and I'm gonna be the last one.
And I went, and I was just it was just so much better to be in person learning with the professor and able to react to them in real time, ask questions, and not have to be unmute and talk over all these people and all this stuff. So it was really, really good, but we had trivia during of what did we just learn? And so I am extremely competitive.
Really?
Yes, when it comes to games or any sort of low stakes.
I personally hate games.
Okay, I love games. And every year for Christmas, my family does this thing called the Head Family Cup.
See, I'm out.
And well, you have to come one year and do it.
I'll do it. I will.
We have guest spots.
Okay, I'll do it.
And I just get it's to a fault.
Yeah.
Where I embarrass
You're
myself.
in this class and you're flipping tables.
No, listen.
Okay.
Listen. So we were writing these things on these whiteboards and then holding up A, B, C, or D for the multiple choices. So I was watching around and see, nope, they didn't do it in time, pointing, in the middle.
Oh my God, the worst person.
The middle
disqualified.
I was time's up.
And
they're disqualified.
what?
And literally the most lowest stakes. But the person at the end of the group at the end would get cookies from Levain. One time they had cookies from Levain.
Okay, well, that's kind of a good
And then
prize.
they had all these nice little prizes at the end. And I was determined to win.
You chose violence.
I did choose violence.
Yeah.
And I just think that's a funny thing about me that I don't really realize. But my boyfriend was saying, he was like, you are a sore winner and a sore loser. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah, you go off.
I'm a sore loser.
For
sure.
I just need to win.
Yeah.
I should have won.
Yeah.
There's no reason why I shouldn't have won. And then people are like, well, you lost. And I'm like, no, technically I won.
You're no, we're in a simulation and there's a reason that I lost and it's not me.
Yeah. And
the reason wasn't me.
Have you been to a casino before?
Yes.
Have you ever gambled at a casino before?
Yes.
Okay. Some people haven't. And I get pissed off at these fucking slot machines. And I'm
I kind of do too. That's why I can't do it.
I should have won. I put in $20.
It's almost how dare you?
How dare you?
To the slot machine. How very dare you?
And I will get upset about it.
Yeah.
And Stevie's like, this is why we don't go to the casino.
The odds are not in your favor at a casino.
At all.
But for some reason in your head, you're like, I'm
the one that's going to win.
You know what? Every time there's a massive Powerball, billions of dollars, I buy it, and I'm literally like, I can't like believe my life is about to change. In my head, I'm like, oh, I can't believe that
I've already spent the money.
Yeah.
I've planned it. I have an Excel spreadsheet. Like I'm giving this.
I have an apartment in Paris already. Like and then they reveal the numbers, and I'm like, are you fucking
not
kidding?
even one right?
Not even one number
not
right.
Even one right. I'm like,
I already like.
I spent $60 on 3 lottery tickets.
Yeah, but I just somehow I convinced myself with the Powerball specifically. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be crazy.
And it's because I think we don't play that on the regular, but I'm like, this is what are the odds? I play this one time.
Someone's got to win it.
The Powerball's at $1 billion. It's gonna be me. Like, how cool of a story is that gonna be? Local Brooklyn man wins the lottery, and it's us. And then, like, what if we won the lottery?
So,
what are you gonna do?
That's what I was gonna ask you. If you won the lottery, if you won like $1 billion, what's your first purchase? And let's say not like charity, not something nice, like something for you.
Okay, something for me.
Like something superficial. What's your first purchase?
The first thing that comes to mind is like a big ass yacht.
That's my answer.
Really?
Yes, that's literally my answer.
We're going on a yacht.
A big ass yacht.
Just a big one.
Big ass, but not like big in the sense that it can't fit in the Mediterranean.
No.
I want one that can go in Greece, Italy.
Yeah.
I want to be on a yacht in Greece.
Can we go?
I need to be on a yacht. I'm actually like starting to get emotional because nobody understands that like I really
need that.
Need to be on a yacht.
I need it. It's
not fair.
I desperately need it.
I'm
getting emotional too.
I really need to be on a yacht. I'm serious.
Like, why aren't we filming this on a yacht right now?
I don't know.
Brick cold outside right now.
Brick cold as and I want to be on a yacht in Greece. That is all. That's so much to ask.
We're trying to plan a vacation, and it's been really. It's kind of stressful because it's like
that's something I have to talk about too.
Yeah, we wanted to do Japan. Okay, but if you go to Japan, like you need to be there for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and then that like stresses.
You don't just like pop into
like,
Japan.
Beep, and that stresses me out because like I'm a planner. I'm type A. Like you have to book these things weeks and months in advance and all this stuff. And it's like we just have to commit. And then it's like it's a huge upfront financial cost.
Yeah,
and all these things. And so then we've been thinking about like what if we pop over to like Paris for a weekend or London for a weekend or like do little short 5-day trips where it's like low stakes.
Yep.
Because Stevie's never been to a lot of these places
Yeah.
and he's just like, I just want to go. Like, let's stop going to fucking Disney.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
right.
Let's go. Okay, so like, what if we do this?
I think that's like you're becoming an adult. Like, I think that's like you want to see these places now. Like you have the money kind of to like go to these places. And now my parents always like wouldn't take us to Disney because my parents are like rich kind of.
Right.
And they like, let's just put it out there. And they always wanted to take us to like Greece and Italy. And we were like, we just want to go to Disney. My parents were like, shut the fuck up. Like, but now I get it. Like if you can do these amazing things, like it's really cool. I feel so lucky to have been able to see.
I default to Disney because I like know how to do it and do it well and easily, and it's just like a 1-2 click thing.
It's like autopilot for you.
And so it's like it's a guaranteed fun time. We're gonna I got it covered. Like if you want to go to Disney,
you're the one to go with.
If you need to foster dogs, contact Luisa. If you need to go to Disney, contact me.
Yes.
I know that shit.
You crush it at Disney.
I crush it.
So I actually just booked myself 2 weeks in Paris.
Yes.
12
You've been
nights.
talking about this.
Yes, I've been talking about this. So my friend's getting married there in October, and I just like extended my trip, and I'm staying from October 12 to 24.
Okay.
So 12 nights. I got myself a little studio.
You already booked it?
You booked the studio. You can see the Eiffel Tower from the balcony.
So cute.
It is so freaking cute. I'll show you like pictures of it. And like I lived in Paris for 6 months. I'm
going to come. Stevie and I are going to come for a weekend.
Literally come for at least
We're going to do Should We Leave in Paris.
We're going to do it in front of the Eiffel Tower.
We are. We're going to get on
People would hate us so much.
No, we're doing it. We're going to get on a picnic blanket and we're going to set these mic stands up and we're going to record an episode. I just love Paris
so much. I really love it so much. And while I'm booking this thing yesterday, I was like, I've always said the yacht would be my first purchase if I hit the lottery, but I actually kind of think I would get like a sick apartment in Paris. Mm-hmm. That I could just pop over to. and then I get a
100%.
yacht. Like, I don't know. I'm like, maybe for the first time in my life, the answer is not yacht. It might actually be.
It might not be yacht.
An
You're a
apartment in
changed
Paris.
woman.
Like a gorgeous
You're maturing.
apartment in Paris because I'm growing up.
You're growing up.
But I just am so excited. Like, I want to get my French back. I'm going to be there alone for a little bit of it. I've never traveled alone.
Really?
So I think it'll be just nice for me to like reconnect with the city, go to cafes by myself, explore by myself a little bit. And then all my college friends come for the wedding.
Oh, so you're doing the week before the wedding? You're
I'm
doing
the week
solo
before and after.
So you're doing solo before.
Solo before.
Wedding.
High school friends are coming after to celebrate my birthday.
Okay. And I'm not invited?
And you're invited if you want to. I just can't have more than one person in my studio.
Oh, we would get our own place.
2 people.
We would get our own place.
Yeah, absolutely. Come at any point.
But okay, so I would do the same thing with the lottery, and I would that is a dream of mine to like own property or apartments in multiple cities. Like be like, oh, we're going over here. We're going to be here in what city? Tokyo, Sydney, LA, and just be like beep boop beep.
Yeah, I'm fucking so excited to go to Paris. It makes me like emotional. I don't know why I feel so connected to that city. I just like
Because you were there at a formidable time, probably.
I think that's what it was. And it was my first time being like alone in a city. And I was like, look at me. Who would have thought?
Traveling, I got the opportunity and privilege to travel alone a lot when I first moved to New York because my company we would go on a lot of there's a lot of travel with it.
Yeah.
And so I went to, it was a London-based company, but we always had this like London conference. And then
That's awesome. Yeah.
And so like twice a year we would be in London, and then either myself or me and my good coworker, her name's Emily, my like best friend coworker, we would book trips, like side missions.
You might as well. It'll be good for me. And I think I haven't traveled at all in the last 10 years. Like I just don't go anywhere because I don't make a lot of money, and I don't want to, when I do make money, I don't want to spend it on that. But I think I've realized that it's also like I don't have a boyfriend to go places with me. And some of my friends are like, they're all married, and I don't know, they don't always want to do like a girls trip and spend money on it. But that's why I was like, you know what? Let me just rip this shit and I'll go alone and I'll have a great time.
Oh yeah. Maybe you'll meet a boy.
I'll go on a date. Like I'll go on Hinge in France. Like
maybe Hinge is different in France.
Well, TBD, we're going to find out. And then we'll go viral and everyone's going to call me ugly again. But yeah.
That's exciting.
So excited. Okay, last night I had a crazy experience. Not crazy, it was a super normal experience, but for someone who doesn't do comedy, it's very interesting. I had 2 sets last night, 8:15, 9:15. One was at New York Comedy Club, Gramercy. One was at New York Comedy Club, East 4th Street. So I go from there to there, boom, boom. I did the same set. The first crowd, like I bombed. Not like so hard where I was like, I'm going to fucking off myself. But I bombed, and everyone kind of bombed because the crowd was bad. Like they were not into it at all. It was like, no offense, but the comic that went before me kind of like took the life out of the room. And when that happens, you go on and it's really hard to get them back. And I just like didn't do well. Like straight up, I didn't do well. They didn't laugh at me, and it was just like embarrassing, and it sucks because it always sucks.
Crowds are so...
Then, yeah, exactly. Then I go down to East 4th, do basically the same set, murder. I took no prisoners. Murdered everyone in that room. Crushed. Had one of the best sets of my life.
Amazing.
But what's crazy about it is there are people who had isolated incidents. If you were someone in that first room, you see me and you're like, that girl's not funny and she's not a good comedian. Mm-hmm. If you're someone who was at that second show, your isolated experience of me is like, she's so good and she's so funny, which is why I'm like, I want people to understand that like when you go to a comedy show, you might not be like, someone might be having an off set, but they don't realize it. Like, it's just crazy that those people in that room left being like, she sucked. And then I went and like crushed another show. It just is such a weird phenomenon.
Yeah, that is weird. It's like, I've been in a crowd before where the comedian is quote bombing, and I'm like, it's not the comedian's fault.
Not always.
Always, but it's also. Do you ever have people who the one person thinks you're murdering and the rest of the crowd thinks you're fucking bombing, and I'm that person in the back being like, yeah.
I did a show once where no one was laughing, but one person was in the back going, facts, facts. She wasn't even laughing. She was going, facts.
That's so
Which
funny.
I loved. But yeah, bombing is part of it. So it's like, it is whatever, but it's just so funny to have two opposites in one night, 1 hour apart.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah. And I've seen people I've seen Ali Wong kind of bomb. Like everybody does it. And it's just.
Golden Globe winner Ali Wong.
Yeah.
She won the Golden Globe this year.
Did she?
For like best. She was up against
Nikki
Glaser.
She did. Fuck yeah. Good for her. That's awesome.
I like her.
So yeah, I like her too. But I just think.
Did you watch her show Beef?
I couldn't get into it.
It is a little bit, but it's really good.
So wait, you're watching, we're both watching Traitors.
Yes. And I have a hot take.
We have different opinions.
We have very different opinions. And I think you're biased because you come from the same city as him.
Oh my God. I'm not someone who rides for Boston.
I think you want to ride Boston Rob.
I want to ride Boston Rob, but I don't ride for Boston.
Okay, maybe Boston Rob in the past, but not this future Boston Rob.
Yeah,
this
I'm into
both.
it. Yeah.
Okay, here's my thing. He is an incredible game player.
For people not listening, on the Traitors, Boston Rob.
There's two Bobs and a Boston Rob.
Boston Rob is one of the Traitors, and he's manipulative.
Spoiler alert.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
He's
it's
manipulative
like,
as shit, and it's crazy to see. And he
Yeah.
was the guy that was on Survivor in his youth.
So without being a Traitors review podcast, I hate him. I don't like him, but I can respect that he's an amazing player. But I was overjoyed last night when he finally got his.
I was pissed. I was
like,
rooting for him.
Finally, because it's okay. The last episode, he dog walked them into pivoting onto Wes.
It was awesome.
And I was like, this is a masterclass on how to do this. But it also makes me feel like, wow, the Faithfuls are so fucking dumb.
Well, yeah, that's how I felt like last night's episode. If they didn't send him home, I wanted him to stay because I wanted him to win and go all the way through. But it's like, if they didn't send him home, how stupid can you be?
Like the Faithfuls were.
Like, come on.
I was
at some
like,
point.
It made me feel bad for them. Like, you guys are
stupid,
so stupid, and you're just bandwagoning and I don't know.
I'm a sick fuck because I was watching it being like, wow, watching him just manipulate these people was sort of hot to me. And I was like, look at him go. The best thing ever was when Bob the drag queen said one thing about him and Boston Rob goes, we're getting rid of him, and by the way, it's happening tonight. I was like, whoa.
And that's one of the reasons why I didn't like him, because I was cheering for Bob the drag queen. He was my player because I have history just being a fan of his, and I was like, I hate that.
Yeah, I just thought that was the funniest part of the whole show. Bob says one little thing about Rob, and Rob is like, hey, by the way. Not even
Rob by name. He said it about the three new players.
He's named a group of players, and Rob was like, hey guys, we're getting rid of Bob, and by the way, it's happening tonight.
Well
and
done.
I didn't know he was hot in his youth. I was just sitting there being like, I was watching with my friends, and I was like, you guys, is that old guy Rob not
is that my
super,
type?
Well, I was like, is he not super ugly, right? He's a little bit not ugly. My friends were like, yeah. And then I was like, so is he hot though? And they were like, yeah, actually. And then I saw old pictures of him and I was like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. He's hot and he's manipulative and he's toxic. And that's everything that is wrong with men.
And what you want.
In this world. And that's why I'm drawn to it.
Okay.
Because we have been conditioned as women to...
Speaking of hot, toxic, and being drawn to things, do you watch Love Island?
I've watched a bunch, but I'm not watching this current season. Is it a US season?
No, it's Love Island All Stars. So it's all UK.
I love the UK ones though. It's just so much. I've got a text.
I'm completely gutted, mate.
Here's the thing about that show. Also, there are so many dialects in the UK. You could make it up. Someone will come on that show and I go, I've never heard that in my life.
Yeah.
Never heard someone talk like that in my
life. Ronnie.
I don't even know. I can't think of any words.
What are you saying?
There's so many
but
different.
it's good. And I was watching it last night, and Stevie and I are really into it, and we're like caught up. We're watching. It comes out every night, which is insane for a reality show.
Oh, that's crazy.
So
that's part of why I can't watch it because I need to like talk to my family.
Yeah.
I need to like go to work. Like I can't get sucked in.
We just look forward to it every night. It's like fun to have like event destination TV.
It really is.
Like Traitors was 2 nights ago.
You know what? I was just talking about this last night. I love having a show that comes out weekly.
You can watch it.
You have to wait for it.
Yes,
you can't binge it all in one
that.
night because it's like it honestly gives me a reason to live.
Right.
Like, I'm like, well, I have to go.
Did you watch American Idol? Do you remember when
I was a kid? Yeah.
When American Idol was coming out, and like I remember having to rush home to make sure to be home
Yes.
for American Idol because I have to vote.
Oh my God. And you'd vote on your home phone.
Yeah.
Oh, such a good
Call in. It would be busy.
Such a good time.
Oh man.
So Love Island's every night though, which is crazy.
Yeah,
but
Monday
again,
through Friday.
Better than it's nice because you have something every night to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
And in today's economy, we'll take what we
when
can get.
when you and then you realize after you've watched 50 episodes of these people just laying around.
They sit on beanbags.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
Yeah.
I got like 30 episodes into one season and I was like, I
What-
came to and I was like,
What am I
whoa,
watching?
What?
They wake up, they lay in the sun, they fight, Okay, so what I was going to say is that the producers of the show just put these couples in the most fucked up, unrealistic scenarios that they would they were doing, and then it gets the girls and boys mad at each other.
Yeah.
They literally didn't do that on their own accord. It's because they were forced to answer this question card.
Yeah.
So, and it just creates drama, and I think that's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's good TV.
Stevie and I were like, this is the only drama. Like, we are drawn to it because it's like, thankfully, the only drama we have in our lives is Love Island. Like, it's like we're getting off on like watching this fucking drama.
That's what reality TV is.
It's
to me.
crazy. Like, one of my favorite guys in there, his name is Luca, and he's with this girl, Grace.
Yeah.
But one of his like exes came in that like, not an ex, but they like DMs before.
Yeah.
And he got this card, was like, it asked him to kiss the girl that he would be with if it wasn't with his current girl. Like, what kind of
and it's like
what do you mean? And so
they make him do something.
So then he's like, do I kiss this girl or do I just kiss one of my friends?
Yeah.
And he kisses the girl. And it sends everyone into a tailspin.
The crowd went wild.
Sometimes I wish I lived in the UK
God,
because
it's so
you can
good.
like vote on people to be with.
It's creepy. It's like the Hunger Games where you're watching it
in real time.
In real time.
It's kind of like cool though.
It's
like
crazy.
Where you can like have an impact. Like that's like when you're voting on American Idol, when you're like,
Yeah.
if you don't get enough votes, they're gone
and it's on me.
It's like I have to vote.
Like normally reality TV, the season comes out 6 months later and the people have had to hold in all the drama and then finally they can talk about it. This is like, we're watching these, it really is like the Hunger Games. We're
two-day delay,
them,
basically.
We're watching them in the ring or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
Fighting to the death, ultimately.
Basically, it is so wild. Anyway, that is just.
I know, I love having a show to look forward to. I'm watching Severance right now. I have an episode to
I
catch
fall
up on
asleep
that.
every time I watch that.
Oh,
It's because
yeah.
it comes on Fridays, and I'm like, by the time I get to
Yeah.
it, I'm like, this show is very beautiful, but you know how the
You know what,
music
though?
is? It's like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
then I'm like,
That was me. I tried to watch Westworld because everyone was like, it's the best show. I would literally swear to God, I would click play and be like, sometimes it's just not.
there's just something in the sound
Yeah.
of it that.
It is like,
Ding, block.
yeah. No, I get it. Normally I don't like shit like that either, but I've just gotten really into it.
Yeah, and what's his name? Adam Scott.
Yeah, he's cool. And I always think of him because, sorry, hold on. I always think of him because he was the brother in Step Brothers.
I think of him because
Derek?
he was the guy in Parks and Rec.
Right. I don't think of him as that though. I think
Did
of
you
him
watch
as,
Parks and Rec?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like a very comfort show for me.
Yeah.
Like The
It
Office
is a
is for
good
some
show.
people.
It is a great show. But him as Derek in Step Brothers is just like one of my favorite characters ever.
So the marketing thing that I was in this week happened to be right next to the Harry Potter New York store, like literally a block away.
Where is that again? It's near
in
Flatiron.
Flatiron.
Okay.
It's in Flatiron. Have you been?
I've walked past it.
Okay, you have to go.
I think I walked in and like
it was
looked around.
Too
and then
crazy.
Left. Yeah.
So normally it's so crazy Kalani, you can't even move in there.
Yeah, it's Kalani
You cannot
Central.
even enjoy looking or trying to buy anything. But I was there like middle of the day, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, ghost town.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I was like, I'm in Hogwarts right now. I'm legit in here. And I almost left spending my entire salary on an entire new wardrobe. Like I got this like Defense Against the Dark Arts journal.
Oh my gosh. Cute. Okay, like I'm a sucker for like merch.
Cute merch like this.
No,
it's
I'm
like,
a sucker
it's like
for
kind
that.
of like not so in your face like Slytherin.
Right.
But like it looks like a cute little book.
Oh my God.
This is now my podcast book.
Before you had said it, I was like looking at it and I didn't think anything of it. Like I was like, that's cute, but what is
so cute. But okay, so they have like a pastry. They have pastries there.
Yes, I walked in and saw they had like coffee.
You can get butterbeer and all this stuff, but it's not the butterbeer that they sell at the parks. It's like basically like glorified cream soda. So, but tell me why I went in there and I was like, you know what? I'm getting a butterbeer. Like I'm feeling my fantasy. Well, I was there with some coworkers and we were looking around. It was such an enjoyable experience. Why is it $17? It was $17 for like this little.
You
it's
better
like,
get to meet Harry Potter.
I need the scar etched
You better
on my
get
head.
a meet and greet.
Like the coffee that you had.
Like the $9 coffee.
I need to meet and greet Voldemort.
You need to meet and greet Voldemort. At least Hagrid.
Some sort of spell needs to happen to me.
For me to give you $17. That's the sick thing is, I'll do it. I'll pay it. I don't care. It's so cute. I love
This is
merch, souvenirs.
what it comes in. So half of it is filled and then they put like this foam on the top. So I guess it's $17 because you get this little cup, but like this, how does this incorporate into
No.
anything that you have? Like
Yeah.
I have a million Broadway cups and at least they're like normal looking cups.
This like doesn't even fit in the
Like
cabinet. 'Cause of
what?
that massive.
You can't even use hot drinks for it.
Yeah.
I just gladly like, take your little phone, bing, and just like, oh, $18
not
with
real.
tax.
Not real.
Just
Yeah.
not real at all. But then why do I get so upset when I have to pay shipping? Like any sort of thing, like $5 for shipping next day. Like Stevie always
That
gets
doesn't
the
bother me.
But do you pay for shipping?
Like I will.
But like what about will you pay $30 for next day shipping?
Depends how badly I need it, but I would not pay $30.
That doesn't bother you?
If it's something that I need,
I think it's because I'm so used to Amazon Prime, everything
Well,
being
yeah,
included,
me
but it's
too.
really not included.
I'm used to ordering something on Amazon and having it arrive in 5 minutes.
And
So I'm sorry, like support small businesses, but until small businesses can get me what I want in 30 minutes, I'm gonna be on Amazon.
so bad.
It's really bad. Support small businesses. Support women-owned, black-owned businesses. But also
you can't go back
if
now.
those businesses could step it up a little bit.
Well, some small businesses are on Amazon.
Etsy, maybe.
Okay, that is very interesting too because like we were like supporting small business with this coffee table that we just bought. Like, why is it 7 weeks to get it?
Wait, Josh? This just reminded me. Josh sent me this morning. He ordered a custom wooden table on Etsy.
Yeah, this is from Etsy.
It's probably like very similar. He orders it and then he sends me a screenshot this morning. The guy messages him being like, "I'm so sorry. The road to our store has been so treacherous. I nearly fell off the mountain yesterday trying to get there." Like Josh was like, "Okay, it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Don't kill yourself to make this
Right.
table for me. Just give me a date. Like too much details. Like be safe."
That's so funny, but that's how the small businesses on Etsy work.
He's like he said he nearly fell off the mountain, and we were saying he nearly FOTM. Like you hate to see the guy making your table nearly FOTM. It's like also like what mountain?
Yeah.
Like this guy's climbing a mountain.
Where are you at? Are you in
to
Switzerland?
Make this table?
Ever since we talked about Harry Potter like on one of the first episodes, like how it was like cozy nostalgic Kalani.
Kalani.
Kalani, this is your
By the
official.
way, like when did that start even?
I don't know how we got to
When did Kalani start?
Kalani,
Cutie Kalani. Because we used to say like other
We used
random
to go teeny.
panini. No, me and Josh say teeny panini, but we used to be like tiny, skinny.
Skinny.
But when did Kalani become a thing?
Kalani.
Like we owe Kalani
We
royalties.
owe Kalani royalties.
She'll be our first guest. But it is Cutie Kalani.
Cutie Kalani. What was I gonna say? Oh,
Harry Potter is Cutie Kalani.
ever since I think there hasn't been like a night that has gone by where we haven't had part of one of those movies on to fall asleep.
It's the best.
Like,
though.
I feel like it's embedded. Like, I could go on a trivia and crush and then get mad when I lose.
Because it's like you're not even like paying attention. It's just like in your brain. And you're falling asleep and you're still processing it. It's like when a baby is in the womb and you play like classical music and the baby comes out like smarter or whatever because.
And you don't fall asleep to movies, do you?
No.
Because of the blue light.
The blue light.
Yeah.
I've been falling asleep to, not to be like a douchebag, but I've been falling asleep to books. I've been reading books recently.
I don't like that though because you're gonna forget. You're gonna forget where you left off. How do you know?
Because I get so sleepy that I just make a
"Oh, I'm gonna
decision. I
stop."
say this is where I'm stopping. I put it down. I just
So
fall
for me,
asleep.
I would fall asleep and it'd be 17 books later.
no.
You know what I mean, though?
Yeah. So last night I was reading a page and then I woke up and I was like, oh, this is it, and I closed it.
Oh, you're actually reading it.
Yeah. I'm actually reading it.
I thought you were listening to it.
No, I'm
Because
reading.
my only experience with books is
My
listening.
only experience with reading is listening.
listening.
You're like, you couldn't even fathom
Like,
that somebody
I'm
would
like,
read a book.
You're
Oh,
going like this.
Yes, of course. If you're listening, you fall asleep. Because you just said you fell asleep. I'm like, how are you 7? Are you reading in your sleep? Like,
I know. I was like, that was funny, and like
okay,
now
no,
you're
okay,
like,
okay. That makes sense to me. Okay, yeah, of course. I'm actually reading, and I'll be looking at the words, and then my eyes close.
the fact that I just don't read. It's just,
I said I've been reading books, and your brain went right
immediately
to
audible.com.
Audible. Oh my God, you're like, she must mean she's watching TV.
Yeah.
What is a book?
That is so
That's
funny.
really funny.
Oh my God. So the one other thing that I had was that I'd been talking about Stevie and I've been mentioning him on the podcast and stuff like that. And he was in a video and I was like, you know what? I was like, I don't want to like give a lot of details about our relationship. Like, I don't want to be, listen.
To keep things private.
I want to keep things private. Like, I don't want us to be like,
in the public eye.
in the public eye. Like, I don't.
700 followers.
He said, you don't have to worry about that. Nobody's watching it.
I know. He's right.
I was like, he said that to me this
dragged
morning.
us to death.
I was like, oh, drag me. I was like, that is so rude that you said that. And he was like, no. And he could not
can't
find the
come back from
words
it.
of what he meant. And I think what he meant, he's like, you guys don't have a lot of eyes on you right now. So it
Yeah.
doesn't like matter so much. And I was like, wow, you think no one listens
But
to our
to
podcast?
hear that is
It literally, and this was
hurts.
as I'm dropping him off to work this morning and him getting out of the car. And I was like, I had to call him back because he had some time before he started. I had to call him. I was like, okay, so what did you exactly
What
mean by
did you
that? So that
mean?
I can like come to your defense after I tell this story.
that's so funny.
And he was like, I don't really know.
You
He's
don't
like,
need to come
I
to his
support you. I'm
defense.
proud of you. I
'Cause
love
he's-
you.
He's
He's
right.
our number one fan.
Ultimately, when we have hundreds of thousands of followers, that's one thing. But like, yeah, I feel like that's so funny.
That is too good.
We'll have to have him on at some point.
We will. We need to, like, who should we have as a guest?
I have a psychic that actually, this is an insane fucking story. When I opened for Hannah Berner at the Wilbur in Boston, she knows this psychic who came to the show. She comes back to meet us and she was like, do you mind if and I was like,
Do you
sure.
like psychic you?
Yeah. And I was like about to get on
Psychic you.
stage on the Wilbur in front of thousands of people. And she's like, your dead grandma's here. I was like, oh,
No.
okay. She's like, your dead friend from high school is here. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. But I have to get on stage in a minute for like the biggest show of my life.
Yeah.
And she's like telling me about all these like dead people. She's like, that tattoo is actually your grandma. I'm like, can we not?
Should we have her on the pod?
Not the right, my grandma?
No.
Oh.
The psychic.
No, that's what I was gonna say. She messaged me today, actually, being like, when are you gonna be in Boston? Like, I want to see you. I would also love to be on your podcast.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, would be awesome too, because
my God.
she's not a psychic. She's more of a medium.
Oh, I've had experience with
She does
mediums.
readings like for real, and I've seen her shit, and it's incredible. And yes, it's funny to think about me about to go on stage and being told, "Oh, your dead grandma's here," but she actually went into crazy detail about my friend who died my friend from high school that like she couldn't have known, and it was crazy.
I spoke to a medium once before too about my mom, and
Yeah.
they had a lot of information that I was like, this is crazy. So I do
Did
believe
you like
in it.
that?
No, I did. And it was a really good experience, and I do recommend it.
Yeah.
You just have to find like not a crazy Kalani one.
That's what I mean. Like she was real. She was legit.
And I think there are a lot. So one of the cool things they said is whenever you see a white bird, which is like kind of rare in New York because they're all like dirty pigeons,
gray ass.
That's your mom. Like it's kind of like the wink from the universe.
Popping
Don't start
crying.
crying.
Sorry.
And so it more often than not, whenever I'm like, there's something like heavy on my heart or there's like a conflict that's battling in my brain, I will sometimes see a white bird in the city and I will feel like, I am making the right step forward. Don't cry. We're not crying on this episode.
Oh my God.
What's up? I love you.
Oh my God.
But
the psychic told me that my grandma was 100 years old, so it's like not the same thing. I don't like really, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
He told me every time I see a hummingbird, or she told me every time I see a hummingbird, it's my grandma. She's like, did you just get a like bird tattoo? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, that's your grandma. And I was like, okay, no offense, but
no offense.
No, it's like no offense, but like you can't just die and then come back and be like, oh, that tattoo is me.
Yeah.
So whatever. Now it's my grandma.
It's just a representation of it.
But I believe in that shit. And I think, let us know, people listening, if you'd be interested in us having a medium on.
Yeah.
Because she's cool as fuck. And she like cleared my chakras.
Yeah, we should.
You want to know something crazy? I've seen 3 psychics before and all of them have said the exact same thing to me, which is insane. They say, something's up with your throat. Do you ever have throat issues? And I was like, yeah, how the fuck did you know that? Mm-hmm. I had vocal nodes in in college, and I had to get surgery to get them removed. And I've had to be really careful ever since. And they'll say, 3 psychics I've seen had said, I see something like really tight and weird with your throat chakras. And they think it's because I was hung for being a witch in a past life.
Oh,
which I can totally see.
You
for me.
Definitely are a witch.
I was a witch for sure. I got hung in the town square.
Oh my God.
For like being able to read. They were like, burn her. And it's like, and apparently it's manifesting itself in this life.
Yeah. Yes. That's why you love that song so much.
Bum, bum. Bow, bow, bow. But this is me finding out the Wicked Witch is dead.
What are you banging on? Why are you banging on it?
It's so good. Brings me back to like my
for your roots. It brings you back to your roots.
I was in the Salem witch trials, and I'm like, to have heard that more than once. I mean,
3 times.
And I do have throat problems. And why would a psychic that I've never met know that? I've never like made a joke about it on.
Yeah, the
what
consistency
the hell?
of it is, yeah.
So I don't know if I believe in past lives or whatever, but I just think that is really cool.
That
it could be manifesting itself in this life.
Now you're making money through your throat.
It's, yeah.
Not like...
Yeah, the throat goat. Making money in my throat. I also just think it's awesome that I was a witch because I for sure was.
I wonder what I was.
I was definitely like doing stand up and they were like, can you shut the they're like, women can't speak or have opinions.
And then you were hung.
Now here I am. Yeah.
Here exactly. You are. Still yapping.
They couldn't stop me.
They couldn't.
Okay, well, thanks for ripping this episode with us.
Yes.
We ripped it.
What was that?
Yes.
Well, yes.
We ripped it. We cried for literally 15 seconds. Well, we cried because we need to be on a yacht.
We laughed. Mostly. We cried. And
we kooky
that was episode 9.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Bye.